So James Hardie siding is still far and away the best siding for Kansas City, and it's for a few reasons, okay? One is there's so much wood siding here. Hardie's entire premise is built on they give you the look and character and feel of wood, but none of the hassle on the maintenance. No woodpeckers, no insects, no rotting. It's not gonna expand and contract like wood. It takes paint better than wood. So there's so much wood in this market, and Hardie was actually created to basically just displace wood. We'll give you the same look, but none of the hassle on the maintenance. So Hardie's such a great fit here for that. The other thing though is you know, there's nothing wrong with vinyl siding. It's cheaper and it looks cheap, but it can serve a purpose. The difference is that 7 to 10 years ago, homeowners in Kansas City could save 50 to 60% on vinyl siding, so it was more popular. Today, the difference is it might only be 10 to 15% less than Hardie, and most people are sitting there thinking, man, I have wood shingle on my house today, I have wood panel, I don't mind the look, I'm tired of the maintenance. For only $3,000 or $4,000 more, I get the same look and the same character and the same value. I don't have to put plastic on my house. So, you know, the whole premise of vinyl was really you could save a lot of money. That's why most people did it. That doesn't really hold water anymore, especially with the way financing are and some of the programs you get. Most people are saying, yeah, I'll take 18 months, no interest for the extra $3,000 or $4,000 gap for his vinyl. Let's go ahead and do James Hardie siding. You know, one of the things I talk about with homeowners, especially when we're doing the install, is what they can expect, okay? And so Hardie's a dimensionally stable product, you know, like the seams, like we put factory edges in the field, so it's not like we're cutting it. The factory edges, Hardie wants moderate contact, which means the boards are slightly touching but not forced together. What you're gonna find though is most walls aren't flat. So most seams do not fit perfectly together because most walls aren't flat to begin with. They have lumps and they're not plumb, and so when you have two things that aren't perfectly set, maybe the top half is always touching, maybe the bottom isn't. Some seams are perfect. A lot of these homes, nothing is perfectly straight and plumb. So most homeowners understand that, hey, everything won't be absolutely perfect. The only thing that happens where, you know, homeowners are like, I don't love the way that looks, and either do I personally, is the problem is if you have a lot of wood rot and then we have to resheath like a whole wall, well, now we're buying new wood products that like expand and contract. They're not really acclimated with the climate. And so a lot of times we'll talk to a homeowner on, hey, you might want to consider significantly upgrading the substrate we're going to use because the wood's going to move a lot. The reality is your home's gonna move, it's gonna settle, your foundation's gonna move. You're gonna get some minimal movement in Hardie. It's, you know, you're probably talking, you know, a 1/16 of an inch to maybe kind of a 1/4 inch. That's like worst case, pretty drastic. The bigger thing is if we have to do a lot of wood rot and now we're buying OSB or plywood, which are perfectly fine for construction purposes. Problem is they expand and contract and they're not really acclimated to your current climate, especially if it's in the summer. It might be worth really upgrading to a much more durable wood that's not gonna move as much. So then you're gonna get a fantastic looking install because we can install it perfectly. And a week later, you know, when that new wood moves a little bit, now you have some gaps that are, you know, 1/8 of an inch apart. It doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look as perfect as it did day one, but it has to do with the wood structure behind the siding. So we make sure to educate homeowners and say, hey, you have some options here. This might not happen, but it could happen. Here's some pictures of what it looks like. Do you want to spend $3,000 extra to eliminate this? Or if not, that's okay. But we're going to show you this is the best we can do. And when the wall kind of moves, the expansion tracks behind it, you might see some of that on the James Hardie butt joints.